gave her the opportunity to be a warrior. No, you moron. You're in there to protect her from herself. He makes me sick. That guy has no business reffing fights, and I promise you, you're not going to see him again. Either Steve Mazzagatti is fucking idiot. Yeah, I would do everything in my... All I can do now is talk. I don't know how many more times we can say it. I don't know how many more times this guy can just look bad and fuck up, and it's just fuck. Nothing personal against this guy. I don't even know him. Steve Mazzagatti's the worst referee in the history of fight. He ref a fight. He fucking stands there like this. He's doing his fucking grocery list, thinking about did he TiVo the fucking his favorite show. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. Or sometimes he'll go like this and start looking like this when they're not even fucking doing anything.
Wait a minute. People's elbowing in his. Yes. You're kidding. Yeah.
You grabbed the fence. You stuck your fingers inside the glove. Don't bring me into this fight. Watch your fingers. They were in his eye. No, stop.
Yes, sir.
They were right here. You're cupping. Keep it clean.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
get me involved in this.
I tried to go under the nose and mouth.
Your foul was more serious. Get it together. Next time, it may be more than just a plan. Get it together. How many fingers?
No.
Keep your head still. How many fingers?
One.
Huh? Can you see out of the left eye?
Huh?
Can you see out of the left eye?
What do you mean?
Can you see out of your eye?
I see you.
Okay.
What a knockout!
It's not over.
Come on!
It's not over.
Stop the fight!
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect myself at all times. Follow my instructions. Touch gloves in this business.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we're here with another tier list. We're back and we're going through the best referees in the UFC, or ranking every UFC referee on this tier list. We've got the top tier being best referee all the way down to let them be a warrior, which arguably should be at the top, but you know, those are for the people that just probably don't do as good of a job as they could. And then in between that, we got all nonsense, we got solid ref, and we got great ref. So you guys let me know in the comments if you agree with my picks. But given how yesterday or the other day's card went with some interesting and questionable refereeing, I thought it'd be a good time to do this video. So let's get started. Steve Mazzagatti is going to go in Let Them Be a Warrior. So again, it's probably my mistake. I probably should have put this tier at the top, but Steve Mazzagatti, as you saw from Dana White's rant at the start of this video, you know, I decided to bring back the edits, the intro to the video. I thought this would be a good idea. Let me know if you enjoyed it. But Steve Mazzagatti, yeah, definitely one of the less good referees, let's just say, one of the more questionable ones, was responsible for several late stoppages and also several early stoppages as well. But not the Mark Goddard type of stoppages where, you know, a few shots land, person maybe goes down but tries to get back up, they call it off. No, this guy's full just calling off fights when it's not even, shouldn't even be stopped. This guy manages to do the early submission stoppages as well, when the guy will just be like in a half-in choke and he'll just call it off. Like there was the one, I don't know if it was him, but there was one where Drew Dober was like in a guillotine on top. Wasn't even in, like the hands were hardly even together. He was in like half guard and the guy was holding onto his neck and the ref just called it off and said you tapped. He clearly did. It was the dumbest thing ever. I don't know if that even was Mazzagatti, but regardless, he is not the best referee in the business. Let's just say that much. But let's move on to the next referee. Chris Tognoni is going to go in all nonsense. This guy is just not a very good referee. Recent highlights, of course, he had that stoppage with Edgar Chairez when, against Lacerda, when he had like a guillotine up against the fence and he just stopped it. Chairez was like about to win and then he just stopped it before the tap, and so they then had to run it back. He also did a similar thing, I think. He's actually done several early stoppages in the submission, done a couple late stoppages as well when like the guys could definitely, like, he's definitely out of there. But yeah, Tonioni, just not the best referee. Let's just say that much. But let's move on to another ref. This bitch, I don't know what her name is again. I think it's a Kim something. But she was like some female referee that used to ref a while ago. She was shit as fuck. Like, she was terrible. Yeah. I'm going to just put her there and we're going to move on because she was shit. And I didn't even watch the sport when she reffed. I just knew that she was not good. Let's move on. This dude here, I don't know his name, but this is the guy, if you don't know, that was the referee for the Buenos Saint Denis versus Elezu dos Santos fight. And he's the one that BSD was just getting fucking whooped around and he was just standing there just watching it. Like at one point, Dos Santos literally looked at him and was like, bro, stop the fight. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's just punching him. BSD's just like sitting up against the cage, just holding his hand in front of his face. Like, he didn't want to be there. And then the ref is just like, yeah, man, keep going. Like, the fuck's he doing? He's going to go in and let him be a warrior. He literally got pulled out of his like neck. He was going to referee again on that event. And then they pulled him off it, obviously, because he did a shit job. But I don't know his name. He was some Russian dude. Let's move on, though. Dan Mergliata. I'm going to put him in solid ref. He's actually not bad. I feel like he doesn't ref as much anymore. Or maybe he's just never really been a super, like, used ref. Maybe they don't use him too much. But from memory, Dan Mergliata is actually pretty good. He's never like a crazy good ref. Sometimes he's like joking around a bit. But he's chill. He's good. I don't think he's ever made any like terrible calls. He can give a stern warning and stuff, you know. It's like when Herb Dean's like, do not get me involved in this fight. Like, he's just like, but he does a good job. He's not, the fighters don't like get away with shit for a lot of the time. Sometimes he does some weird stuff, but for the most part, I can't remember the last time when he made like a really bad call. Because that's what you have to be in the lower three tiers, the lower two tiers. You have to have like actively made bad calls recently and often. But I wouldn't say he does. So yeah, fair play to him. Let's move on though to another referee, Gary Copeland. So this guy, fucking Gary Copeland, you midget German steroid head, you fucking midget. You're 5'4" at least. This absolute manlet, fucking 5'2" muscle roid head. He's really getting into this list based off the last card's performance, because fair play, he actually was doing good early. Like, in the fight with Ibo Islam and Anton Chikali, Islam got kicked in the nuts, and then he was like looking like he kind of wanted to get back in and kind of didn't, and then he wanted to take a bit of time, and he did a good job of explaining it to him well. He's just like, you have time, I suggest you take time, you don't have to go back in there immediately, you can take some more time off. And then so that was good. I'm like, fair play, the referee's making it clear that you don't need to get back in there as soon as. If I ask you, are you okay, and you say yes, that doesn't mean you have to go straight away. A lot of referees do that. If they get, like, fouled, they'll be like, are you okay? And they'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, I go. It's like, just because I'm saying I'm okay doesn't mean I'm good to go right away. So I was like, fair play, did well. But then, you know, the other bad refereeing must have rubbed off on him or something, because there was some other questionable calls. But then he comes back for the Nelson and Algio fight, and very early stoppage there, standing TKO, really could have left that one going. And then he comes back for the Weidman fight and just handled that shit terribly. There were like 4 eye pokes. At one point, he basically did the Mark Goddard with Colby and Usman. He's like, no more timeouts. It's like, the fuck do you mean no more timeouts? Like, if they foul them, you can't. Like, Silva clearly got fucking double, like, 1-2 eye poked, and then he just, like, waited until he got ground and pounded. Because if he had stopped it after the eye pokes, he probably could have taken a point from Weidman. He probably could have figured out the situation. Silva could have kept going if he wanted to. But just because you then called it off because you let him fucking ground and pound him to a finish, then you fucked up that whole thing. And then you handled that fucking terribly. So Copeland did a shit job there. Yeah, just a little fucking roid head. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing, as Dana White would say. But yeah, he's gonna go down low. All nonsense, Gary Copeland. Absolute fool of a team. Let's move on, though, to the next referee. Mike Beltran is the next referee. I just realized these photos are shit. You can't even see. I'm sorry. But Mike Beltran, I'm going to also put him in solid ref. Again, he's not like the gold standard, like Herb Dean, of course, as everyone will tell you. He's not like a terrible ref. Like, he does make some bad calls occasionally. Like, I think he has done a few. I think he might have had one fight where the guy was in a submission and he stopped it, if I'm not mistaken. But for the most part, Beltran's pretty good. He's a stern guy, you know, he'll tell you off and he'll like take control of the situation, but I'd say he's a pretty average, just middle of the road sort of ref, I'd say. Let's move on though to the next referee, Herb Dean, Mr. Protect Myself at all times. Yeah, Herb Dean, look, you might disagree with this, because I am putting him in great ref. And that is less because in terms of... something fucking my water bottle just fell over. But that is less because he is just an absolutely flawless ref. Like, he's made plenty of bad calls. He's done a lot of early stoppages, a lot of late stoppages. He's fucked some shit up. You know, the Askren-Lawler stoppage, not a good one. But I think he's like the most iconic ref, I would say. Like, everyone knows Herb. Hesitant Herb, Hokey Pokey Herb. There's just so many nicknames that can come out. So I'm being a bit inconsistent and less so ranking him based on how much of a quality ref he is, but overall, he is pretty good. Overall, you know, you get that big title fight, Herb is the guy in there. It's Herb or it's Goddard or it's Herzog. It's one of these guys. You know, that's who Herb's the one you trust with the title fight duty. And for the most part, in the big situations, he actually does a pretty good job. Like, Askren Lawler, I would say, is his most high-profile fuck-up of something that he just did badly. But even that is somewhat justifiable. Like, it's not good. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I would have stopped that too. Like, you got to test it. You got to see if he's out. But it did look like Lawler's arm kind of dropped. Then he did show sort of like a thumbs up, but you can see the thing. But apart from that, Herb, I'd say, he's solid for the most part. But the memes that he allows in the community, like the elbow drop on Poirier, the meme where he's just like running across the thing, when he's always just telling people off and stuff, just yelling at them and shit, like, it's good fun. And so Herb's always going to have a good place in the MMA community. Let's move on though to another ref. Mark Smith, he's going to also go in solid ref. Look, Smith is pretty good. He refs like all the fucking Apex cards, I swear. He's actually not bad. Look, he does have a few iffy calls. He's done a few bad things. Sometimes he will... I think sometimes he separates fighters a lot. Like, he'll tell them to work, like, immediately, and he'll separate them from, like, the clinch or something. Sometimes he's probably made a couple of early stoppages, maybe a couple late stoppages. But I would say Mark Smith is never, like, bad. I arguably should have dropped him up one spot, put him up one spot. But yeah, Mark Smith, pretty solid referee, I'll give him credit. Let's move on to another ref. Mario Yamasaki should arguably go in the best referee, I'll be honest, because he is the GOAT, let's be real. But if we're being realistic, he's made some absolute stinkers. He has called off some fights that just were retarded. Yeah, Yamasaki just not doing his job to the best of his abilities. He's just pretty shit. A whole lot of late stoppages, couple early stoppages in there too. Just a bunch of weird shit. Yamasaki, of course, he's one of the original, like, he's the origin point of the, like, if she dies, or if he dies meme. I think, maybe it was Mazzagatti, but I think him and Yamasaki were the two OGs of the Let Them Be a Warrior fan club. So fair play to them. They were one of a kind. They started the business. But yeah, not the best referees. Let's move on though to another ref. Can't really see who this is, but it's Yamasaki Valel. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, I don't blame you. But just as you can see on the screen, just to demonstrate one of his lesser moments, it was the Gaethje and Cowboy stoppage. That's the one where it was pretty clearly like Cowboy was fully out of it. But he's better. I couldn't really find an appropriate image to demonstrate this, but his number one highlight, you know, or his low light, you could say, is, look, just after this video, go search up Carlos Hernandez versus Dennis Bondar on either YouTube, or if you have Fight Pass or Instagram or somewhere on Google, anywhere. Search up, actually never mind, it was in the fucking intro. It was the one where the guy got slammed on his head. He got slammed, he was unconscious from the slam, and then he gets elbowed in the face 7 times before the referee stops it. There was like 5 seconds left, and I think the referee's thought process was like, oh, he can make it to the bell. Like, bruv, he's unconscious. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I was watching that, and people say that Bobby Green and Jalen Turner's the worst stoppage ever. Like, nah, bruv. This guy got elbowed like 8 times in the skull while he was unconscious. At least Bobby Green was like somewhat in it for like a little bit. He was in it enough to like cover up a little bit. This guy was just out. Like, his arms were just flailing all over the place, and he's just getting battered. And this ref just eventually steps in casually. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. And then turns out it ended up getting called a fucking no contest. Because apparently, or not a no contest, it would have been, but then it went to the cards. It was a technical decision. But yeah, this guy is fucking retarded. Let's move on though to another referee. The next referee here that we have is Mark Goddard. Hey, listen, buddy. It's over. Mark Goddard, I do know the rules, you fucking moron. Yeah, this is obviously one of the more well-known referees in the community. A whole lot going around recently with him and MMA guru, you fucking moron. That it's good fun. I like this. MMA guru did a video about it, and he just makes fun of him. It's good. It's a good laugh. But yeah, Mark Goddard, the Rage Maxer himself, as MMA guru said. Yeah, this guy is fucking hell. Some earlier stoppages, like, look, the Yuri stoppage was justified, I think. It was still early, and in this situation, I don't mind seeing a little bit of a let them be a warrior kind of attitude. And if Yuri takes 2 shots while he's unconscious, I think that's better than stopping it way early and then going, oh, he might have escaped. I would agree. But still, come on, bro. I do think it was somewhat justified, though. Like, Yuri's arm did go limp. Even the Adesanya stoppage, I wanted to see Adesanya go unconscious, so that's why I disagreed with the stoppage. But if you're looking at it objectively, you're meant, a TKO is meant to be when the fighter is not able to defend themselves. Oh, sorry, no. TKO is when the fighter is not defending themselves. KO is when the fighter cannot defend themselves. So, Izzy was not KO'd. He could defend himself. He wasn't. His hands were down, his face was down, he was swaying back and forth, looking down, could not even see Alex Pereira. So that was a TKO. And that was justified, but come on, bro. But apart from that, like, this guy is just so aggressive. Like, a Mavov against Buckley, he was just screaming, he's like, hey, buddy, listen, I'll take a fucking point, mate, go back to your corner. Like, do as I say. And he's, Doom-based on me, he's like, boys, fight, lads, fight. And he's like, it's over. And he just pushes Doomay back. He's like, bro, chill out. So yeah, Mark Goddard, I don't know why he's there. I probably should have put him lower, but he has made a lot of good calls. He has been around for a while, and when you're around for that long, when you're reffing that many high-profile fights, you're bound to make a couple mistakes. So I'll let it slide, but he arguably should be a bit lower. But as much as some of his stoppages have been bad, I just can't say he's on the same level as fucking Coleman and shit, like this Coleman guy and what's his name, the other guys that are in that tier. So yeah, he's not a good ref, I wouldn't say, but he's a solid one. Mark Goddard, decent, but buddy, listen, you got to get your fucking shit together, mate. Fucking stop the fights when they're unconscious. But let's move on to another fighter, or another referee, sorry. Keith Peterson, the man who this tier was named after, all nonsense. Keith Peterson, he's all nonsense. So yeah, he's going to go in that tier appropriately, because this guy is just doing a whole lot of nonsense. He's stopping fights early, he's stopping fights late, he's taking points and shit, he's taking away positions, I don't know what he's doing. Peterson, he looks like a little fucking, like, meth head, fucking average fent addict, Keith Peterson. Yeah, he's just not the best referee. He stopped fights when guys were in submission. Like, early stoppages from punches are one thing, but early stoppages when the guy just hasn't even tapped and you just stop the fight in a submission, that's a different thing entirely, because then you rob both guys of their money and it gets called a no contest. With an early stoppage from a punch, at least it's like, yeah, the guy had him rocked, he was almost out of there, and yeah, we give him his money. But when you call off a fight due to a submission, it doesn't go to the guy. You don't say, oh yeah, this guy wins by submission because I called the fight off before the tap. neither guy gets their win money, and it just feels less conclusive. So yeah, Keith Peterson doing a terrible job, smelling like alcohol and cigarettes, and yeah, he's an all-nonsense referee, and that's why he's in the tier. Let's move on though to another ref. Gary Hatley, the adjudicator of the Bobby Green Jalen Turner stoppage. Yeah, just facilitating some black-on-black violence, you know. Kerry Hatley, he's the guy that holds up the L at the start of every fight when he refs it. Like, bro, you're taking an L every time you ref a fight. Like, no one likes you, you old fuck. He's chucking up some hand signals or something. Like, you're not repping your block, bro, chill. But yeah, Kerry Hatley, not the best referee. He's really repping that if they die, they die kind of attitude. And I love to see it, to be honest. Like, you might think being in the bottom tier is a bad thing. Nah, this is actually good. You know, if you're one end of the spectrum either side, you're better. You don't want to be in the middle, bro. You don't want to be some boring, dead, no one cares about them kind of ref. You want to either be really good and complimented, or you want to be hated beyond belief. Because at least then, you know, all publicity is good publicity in my books. So yeah, Kerry Hatley, keep doing what you're doing, bro, and keep adjudicating some late stoppages. I love to see it. Let's move on, though, to another ref. John McCarthy, Big John, obviously doesn't ref anymore, but he's one of the OGs of the game, one of the original gangsters, the original referees. He actually wrote a bunch of the rules for the first unified rules. So, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Anytime there's a little mix-up, anytime there's some reffing controversy, or a stoppage that people disagree with, he'll jump in, he'll give his take, and usually people will listen to him, and he's a pretty respected guy. He's done a pretty good job across the years. I didn't watch the sport back in fucking 1927 because I wasn't alive when he was fucking reffing back in the heyday. But yeah, I watched a few of his fights when he reffed, but for the most part, I was not overly familiar with him. I just know that he's a big influence in the game. So let me know in the comments if I have him in the right spot. Was he a very good ref, or was he actually a bad ref? I don't know. Let me know. I didn't watch all of his fights back in fucking 1997 because I was literally negative 8 years of age. But let's move on to another referee. Jason Herzog, in my opinion, is the best referee in the business. A lot of people call Herb Dean the gold standard. Nah, bro. Herb's the fucking aluminium standard, bro. Herb's the crystal standard or something. He ain't the gold standard. Jason Herzog, in my mind, is the best referee in the business. He speaks Portuguese. Like, my guy can communicate with Mr. Sharma himself. That's good, and that means you're gonna ref those big fights with international fighters. Like, I'm pretty sure he's reffing Pereira versus Hill. If not, I take that back. But whatever, like, he reffed Oliveira versus Makachev. Like, this guy gets the big spots. Like, this guy gets those ones, and they can trust him, because you'll hear him sometimes on the broadcast. He'll say, like, obrigas or some shit like that. I don't know what that means. But he can communicate to the fighters in Portuguese. And because, bro, if you're talking to fucking, like, Yan Janan, and you say, get your hands out of the fence, she'll just be like, she don't know English. Like, she fucking won't understand you. Like, you gotta speak Mandarin to her. Like, obviously he can't speak Mandarin, but with the fighters, you need to actually fucking communicate in a way they're gonna understand, and Herzog understands that. He doesn't just get angry, and if they do one thing, he just screams at them in a language they don't understand. But yeah, I have not seen Herzog do any really bad stoppages recently, in my opinion. Let me know if I'm wrong, but for the most part, I think this guy's on top of it. He's always stopping fights, mostly at the right time. When fighters are fouled, he calls in the doctors, he gets them, like, sorted out. He follows protocol there well. He rarely makes mistakes, and yeah, I think Herzog's the best in the business. But that is the tier list, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my picks in the comments. We're going to have some more videos coming soon. We're working on something big for the channel, if that can pan out. No promises. I'm not going to tell you what it is, just in case it doesn't come together, but we'll see if that can work out. But apart from that, we've got more videos coming soon, predictions for the card and all that. UFC 300 next weekend, so we've got a bunch of content coming there. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys. And remember, if you live in the past, you're depressed. If you live in the future, you're anxious. But if you live in the now, you're happy. So yeah, to quote Conor McGregor, that's how I'll end this off, and peace out.